welcome into NFL Total Access. My name is MJ Acosta-Ruiz, and in a moment, I'll be joined by Super Bowl winners Michael Robinson and David Carr. We'll also get a visit from the Dean of Pass Rushers University, the 8-time Pro Bowler, Von Miller. You'll want to hear Von's bold prediction for his Broncos and his take on Aaron Rodgers, the very man who gets us started today. The reigning MVP throwing footballs to spectators at the American Century Golf Tournament over the weekend, but will he be completing passes to Packers receivers this season? Rodgers' absence from all team activities, the talk of the NFL offseason. And now, with training camp only weeks away, 12 is taking a wait-and-see approach, saying he's going to figure things out in, quote, a couple weeks. It's even got Peyton Manning talking.
Obviously, I hope he plays somewhere this year. The fact that Aaron Rodgers might not play this year is, I can't fathom it. He's too good of a player, too fun to watch for the fans. I personally hope it's in Green Bay because that's what I see him as. I hope they can kind of make amends and work out. That team is so close. If he were to leave there, it'd be a major change, obviously, for them. So my gut is he's not coming to Denver. My gut is Denver's going to have Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater be their quarterback. And at this point, you kind of know what your plan is. We can't be having a new quarterback 3 weeks before the season.
Right. No, that's good. His hair is, it's getting long. I almost didn't recognize. I was like, whoa, hey, you like it?
I think it looks good.
See, I like the clean cut. Didn't look right on him.
I think he's too good looking. I think he can throw the ball 80 yards with long hair and short hair. Yeah, either way, he's good.
It's that Omaha sign on the set for me. All right. Hello, guys. Michael Robinson, David Carr with me today. Guys, you heard him right there. Peyton Manning, he can't fathom Rodgers not playing. So let's do a little math on this. A couple weeks from right now takes us to July 26th. Packers are scheduled to report to training camp on July 27th. David, you caught up with Rodgers over the weekend. What's your takeaway on all of this?
Yeah, I was with Rodgers and Derek and everyone at the Tahoe tournament. It was a blast. And I'll just tell you right now, what you've heard publicly is the same things that he's saying privately. So for us, we didn't get any information out of him either. It was just he's going to figure it out, right before training camp, and he's going to make his decision. What I got, and I've known Aaron for a long time. When he first came out, we were back in Tahoe in 2005, his rookie year, playing in the same tournament. So the one thing I do know about him is he absolutely knows what he's going to do. He's not going to take this next couple weeks to figure it out. He has a plan. He knows exactly what his move is going to be. He's just not letting any of us know until it's time.
I mean, we get the little extended vacay. I feel that. I want to take as much time in the summer as well. But if he does now suddenly show up, Rob, what was the point of all of this?
Yeah, MJ, that would be my question. If I could talk to Aaron Rodgers like you, David, if I could be in that room talking to Aaron Rodgers, I'd be like, dude, what are we talking about? What are you doing? Is it a football issue you have? Because if you're talking about the type of players that are on that team, you got one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League in Devontae Adams. You got a premier running back in Aaron Jones who led the league just a few years ago in scrimmage touchdowns. You have a rising tight end in Robert Tonyan. The team has been trying to build a defense to complement you, bro. That's why they haven't been going out there and getting first-round picks on wide receivers and other skill positions. And if you look at the past couple of years, it doesn't seem like you needed it. You've been to the NFC Championship 2 years in a row. And again, I've said it on this network over and over and over, time and time again. On that third down play going in to almost beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if Aaron Rodgers would have just ran the ball in the end zone, we may not even be having this conversation. So to me, this seems like something that's very personal, David. I wish he'd say it so that we can just know all the juice, all the tea, and know what's going on. But he won't say it. So for me, for Aaron Rodgers' sake, for him to keep his word and stay thorough like that dog I know he is, he better not show up. He better not show up. He did all of this. He didn't go to minicamp. He did, got his mind right all off season. We see him throwing footballs into lakes of water. What? You better not show up, big dog, because if you show up, it's like, why do you keep crying wolf, man?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And honestly, that's where my heart leans. And I don't know any information. I don't know what's going to happen. But I think I'm kind of with Peyton, with everybody else. You kind of hope that he goes back to Green Bay. But I kind of believe that he's not going to. So, for me, just my gut feeling, don't have any insider information on this, but I just don't feel like he's going to come back to Green Bay.
You better not, as M-Rob just said. But you know what, guys? The great thing is in just 2 weeks, we'll have the big reveal. We'll finally know one way or another. All right, guys, let's keep it in the NFC. Different team here. It's no secret it was a bad season for the Eagles. Last year only winning 4 games, their fewest wins since 2012. Now, it's been a downhill slide since winning the Super Bowl only 4 seasons ago. Well, tackle Lane Johnson, he was on JMFB earlier today, and he said the team is moving in the right direction after a disappointing 2020 season.
I try to limit the expectations. I mean, really looking at our team right now, we had a great OTAs moving forward, learning the playbook. I feel like Coach Sirianni is just taking great command of the team, holding everybody accountable. So I know camp starts here in a few weeks, the 27th, and everybody's looking forward to that. But a lot of veteran leadership and a lot of young, hungry guys ready to prove themselves. And that's where we're at. You know, last year was an embarrassment for everybody involved, and looking forward, we're ready to change that.
Listen, I appreciate him keeping it a buck, M-Rob and DC. He said it right there. Last year was an embarrassment. But M-Rob, how can Philly turn this thing around? I mean, what's their biggest obstacle heading into 2021?
Oh, that's a loaded question right there, MJ. To me, the biggest obstacle is, do we even really know the head coach, Nick Sirianni, right? Like, when you talk about quarterbacks and quarterbacks wanting to go to Indy last year and the previous years, DC, it wasn't like they were going there because of Nick Sirianni. They were going there because of Frank Reich, right? So yeah. I don't know if he's a quarterback whisperer or offensive guru or whatever the case may be, but it just doesn't seem like that he is that guy. It seemed like Frank Reich was calling plays and Frank Reich was the juice behind that offense. So I think it's about this team getting to know Nick Sirianni. I'm not going to say any names, but I know some guys in that locker room who they question this guy and they question whether he can truly lead this team. And me personally, my personal thoughts on it is that, maybe Howie Roseman wanted to put somebody, a yes man, in the head coaching position because, Doug Peterson didn't want to do things all the way his way, and so he wanted to get a yes man there. At least, David, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I think you've started to peel back some of the layers of this onion. And right now the Eagles feel like an onion. It's like Shrek, and it's just like, there's just so many different layers. And when you look at what you're talking about with Howie Roseman, I think that he saw kind of what, the guys that have tried to make it to Indy, like Phillip Rivers and now Carson Wentz getting to move over there, they see what Frank Reich was able to do. And I think that Howie Roseman's trying to get some of that back. I think he lost that when Frank left and went to Indy. He was a brilliant play caller, great quarterback, great person. I've only really talked to him a handful of times, but I'm blown away every time I get a chance to. And I think that that's what he's trying to get. Now, is Nick Sirianni Frank Reich? I don't think so. I would venture to guess that he is not. But I think that he runs a similar system, and he's a guy that maybe, to your point, is a guy that will agree and go along with what the front office wants to do, run the offense that they ran when they were able to have success, and see if you can get some of that magic back. So I think that a lot of it is on the head coach at this point in Philly.
Now, David, I will say this, that a big issue in Philly last year was the turnovers, guys not being healthy, quarterback holding on to the ball and all of those things, but Carson Wentz is out of the door now. So I do think there is some positivity in that direction. But again, you talk about a head coach who, in my opinion, who isn't quite proven yet. To me, the future just doesn't look that great right now. And it just seems like at the end of last year or during parts of last year, they had a better roster. So I just hope that they just aren't creating a scenario where they're going to look for another quarterback in the year and not truly give Jalen Hurts his due diligence.
All right, well, allow me to beer batter drudge that onion for a second and deep fry it for you guys. Offer you a little appetizer, a sign of good things perhaps, because the Eagles are expected to get 4 starters back from injury after some really big injuries on the offensive line. That's definitely going to help out Jalen and that offense who's trying to get things going, right? All right, we'll end it on a good note, guys. Thanks. Well, after the Eagles got the better of Tom Brady back in Super Bowl 52, Brady got the better of everyone in two of the next 3 seasons. Seems like many chapters, but still to come. Is this a year for Tampa to run it back, or is this the year Brady finally runs out of gas? That's coming up. But first, tighten your jaw, because it's going to drop when you hear this Von Miller stat. Career starts, 135. Tackles for loss, 135. That includes 106 sacks, 8 Pro Bowls, and 1 Super Bowl MVP. Coming up next, why Von says it is time to fear him and the Broncos again.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by